What a strike from Callum McGregor!
Kimberly's scored a great goal! He's done it! Murder! It's goal! Celtic has scored!
Yes! Celtic are the champions!
Here we go again. The 2026-27 season is about to begin for the champions. In the first weekend of the new campaign, they've saved the best till last. Martin O'Neill, his coaching staff, and Callum McGregor and the rest of the players managed what at times looked like the impossible by winning the title in the most dramatic fashion last time around. The flag will be unfurled as a reminder that Celtic are the champions, and it will take something special to knock them off the top. Celtic are the champions, Celtic are the ones that are there to be knocked. And it's a first Celtic goal for Benjamin Nygren. Iheanacho, and he scores!
Quisha plays a low, it's a header! There's a Maida with the goal!
Celtic have confirmed that Brendan Rodgers has tendered his resignation today. The former Celtic manager, Martin O'Neill, and former Celtic player Sean Maloney have agreed to take charge of Celtic's first team matters.
Excited about the challenge. Never thought that any of this here could ever happen, I must admit.
What a strike from Callum McGregor! It's Nygren, oh what a goal! Junior Adamu! It's a chance for Araho, he scored! Decent chip and a header and Celtic have a goal back. And he scores on the rebounds. And it's Kieran Tierney! It's Chanchara, it scores! What a finish from the South Korean! It's Nygren! 20 goals for Benjamin Nygren! That's from Maida! And he scored! Another goal from Dyson! Say penalty to Celtic, and he scores. He has scored. And he's put it top. Osman cuts it back. Maida! Well, the onside flag is on. Gets the goal, and Celtic leads by 2 goals to 1. Maida's on the game. Yes! Celtic are the champions!
This group is special, like I've never seen anything like that before. This is the most special place on earth.
Still got it! Scottish Cup winners! Celtic! Double winners!
Dundee are the visitors as the championship flag gets unfurled for the 14th time in the last 15 years. Stephen Presley's confident his side can spring a surprise, but they'll have to upset heavy odds as they've lost 23 of the last 25 games at Celtic Park. For the Ultra Optimists, a 3-0 win puts Celtic top of the league, but that's maybe getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Yes, a very warm welcome to the match live and a very warm welcome to you. There's nothing quite like watching Celtic, there's nothing quite like Scottish football, and we've got another 10 months of ups and downs ahead of us. I hope you've got the stomach for it. I know Peter Grant has as well. Peter, incredible memories from last season. How much are you looking forward to doing it all again?
Well, that's what it's set out to be, champions, and that's what we're looking forward to. It's unusual on an evening like this, it's so cold, and we've got coats on, it's usually sunshine. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the new boys, how it's going to work with Duran and who. It's the first time they're going to be playing together. So these sort of things I'm really looking forward to. And I'm sure there'll be a few players coming in. We hear they're talking about boys going out. So there's going to be a lot of changes. But you need to get the points on the bag. That's the most important thing right away. Get the points in the bag right away. And the quicker you do that, the better it is for everyone.
Before we look at the team, and you did mention the two new boys coming in, let me get a quick reaction to the Champions League draw. Today we know that Celtic will take on Austrian champions Lask in the playoff round for the Champions League. Arguably the biggest game of the season comes right at the start. It's a tough tie for Celtic though.
Oh, of course, any game at the start of the season is tough because not everybody's up to speed. They're the Austrian champions. I think they'd only one player at the World Cup, don't get me wrong. But Austrian football is strong as a national team and they've got a lot of good players. So, bit of the unknown, especially at the start of the season. What we know, it doesn't matter the name, you've got to go out and perform. And unfortunately, in certain games at this time of the year, we haven't performed and it's cost us dearly. This time, we know what's in front of us, we know it's a hard game, but I believe we've got some signings in now that can possibly help us. And I'm sure if some guys go, Martin will already have guys ready to come in the door. I think there's no doubt of it this time.
First leg of that tie will be here at Celtic Park on Wednesday the 19th of August, and the second tie will be in Austria 6 days later on the Tuesday. Both 8 o'clock kickoffs Celtic Park time. Let's have a look then at the starting 11 that Martin O'Neill has selected for this one. As Peter already mentioned, both Camilo Duran and Casper Hu start tonight. Casper Hu, of course, making his debut. Camilo Duran impressed in pre-season. We'll see that in just a few minutes. The back four of Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Kieran Tierney, perhaps predictable due to the suspension of Liam Scales. That double pivot of Arnie Engels and Callum McGregor, with Yang, Nygren, Duran and Hu providing the attacking threat for Celtic. Notable inclusions on the bench, the likes of Callum Osmond, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, for instance, James Forrest, Kobe Donovan there at right back. As for Dundee, well, it'll be interesting to see what they do this season. Stephen Presley, very optimistic ahead of this game. Captain Simon Murray, we know, is always a handful, but it's always, for Dundee, it's a case of survival first and foremost for the season, and then seeing if they can get into the top six. But we know in recent times they'll give Celtic a match, but Celtic will be huge favourites for this one. Peter, your thoughts on that Celtic lineup first of all?
Well, the Celtic one is interesting because it looks like me Duran's going to go left-hand side. I would prefer to see him as a striker because I think he's got all the movements of a normal number 9. It's how this pairing is going to work. Does he put Yang on the left and put Nygren on the right, and all of a sudden put Duran in behind Hu, because he's a box finisher. He wants crosses coming in, so he's a different type of striker. I look at Duran and he's one of these guys that wants to play on the last line, use his pace, he can link play. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see him if he plays the left-hand side. Personally, I'd prefer him through the middle.
Celtic had 4 pre-season games, and Camilo Duran was one player who really stood out. This was the opening match, the penalty there from Shin Yamada, no longer at the club. But then it was really Camilo Duran who took over. The question will be, can he be as effective as this coming off the wide areas?
Well, that's what I'm looking to see. Martin knows him a lot better than me. I've never seen him playing there, but I'm sure Martin's worked on it in training and seen it in training. But the thing is, this is what I like about him. He just turns and gets his shot away. And I think he's that type of player. He can finish off his first touch, and if he gets a second touch, it ends up in the back of the net. You see, he's got a striker's instinct. And that's why I hope it doesn't get lost if he goes to the left-hand side, because I've been really impressed with him. Sets up the goal here for us. A brilliant finish for James Forrest, just with closing people down. People are saying similarities to Maeda about his pressing, but I think he's got a bit more intelligence on the front line. the runs he makes, he looks like a normal striker. That's why I'm interested to see him playing on the left-hand side.
What kind of player for you is Casper Who? What can fans expect to see? Because I had a look at his heat map. Yes, I'm getting very with it these days, and he's very much a penalty box player. He's very much a 6-yard box finisher.
I think that's what you've got to be wary of. You're not going to see him running all over the place. He'll work hard for the team, don't get me wrong, I don't mean it that way. But what he wants service. He wants crosses coming in. He wants the early balls across the box, and he will finish off them. And he maybe not get many touches, but when he's in that 18-yard box, he's what I call a striker, because he can finish off his first touch. And that's the most important thing for me as a number 9 playing for Celtic Football Club. You have to be able to score off your first touch.
Let's not discount the opposition, Peter. Stephen Presley, very bullish going into this game. How much of a threat do you think they'll be for Celtic this evening?
I think Dundee were excellent last year. Stephen started with a little bit of pressure on him because obviously a new manager coming in. I thought it was a bit unfair, and he built the team up. And every time they played Celtic, they gave them a very, very difficult game. Outplayed them at Dens in one of the games, and it could have been more. So they're more than capable of it, and it was a hard game against Martin, scored an equaliser late on. So every game's been hard. And Stephen will have his team very well organised, they'll be very professional, and everybody will know their job. It's interesting how they'll line up. Will they man-mark Callum? That's the only thing, or will they play 3 sitting midfield players? And I think they will man-mark Callum and play with one striker. Simon Murray, as you touched on, works very, very hard for his team.
So as we get ready to welcome in a new season, a final time perhaps to reflect on what was one historic season in the history of this great club, Dalen Docherty, with some very important contributors, recounts the fairy tale.
Every season has its ending. Sometimes you can see it coming. This one kept Celtic guessing until almost the final kick. But to understand the happiness of the ending, you have to remember everything that came before it. Celtic began last season as champions, but the defence of their title became a test of more than just football. There were difficult results, changing of managers, and a points deficit that the team had to overhaul. Celtic could barely afford another mistake. The season had started with familiar expectations. It soon became unfamiliar territory. Responsibility fell on the players who knew the demands of the club.
There was obviously a few circumstances last season that made it really difficult for the team, and then, you know, probably from like January onwards we were right up against it in terms of no margin for error. So, you know, the team are trying to get over the line every game. It's becoming more stressful, and perhaps we've probably never seen the best of the actual free-flowing football that obviously we always want to see and we always want to try and give. But what you seen at that point was a different mentality, that the team were just never ever going to be beat.
Everything I possibly can to bring some success here to the football club.
Into the uncertainty stepped one of Celtic's most familiar figures. Martin O'Neill had returned initially to steady the club. Before long, the role required rather more than that. Celtic did not simply need improvement, they needed a run approaching perfection.
It was really surreal in the fact that I came back twice in the one season. First spell really very, very much like a little cameo role, and the second spell to come in obviously much more prolonged. But it was for me, and I know it sounds terrific, and it turned out brilliantly at the end, but it was so stressful, I think, to try and catch up the whole way through. And if you'd told me that after Dundee United, Tannadice, that we'd have to win all the games, couldn't drop a point, I'd have said it was still possible, but more improbable than anything else.
What followed was less a title charge than a refusal to let the season go. The margin for error disappeared. After the international break, Celtic knew that anything short of an almost flawless finish might leave the championship beyond them. 7 league matches remained. They won all 7.
Rachi, decent cross in, chance for Iheanacho! What a goal for Celtic! And it's Kelechi Iheanacho!
Celtic plays it low, it's a good ball, it's a chance for Maeda, and he scored! Another goal from Dyson!
Tierney went for that near post, Iheanacho!
Plays it low, it's a chance for Maeda! Oh, Maeda! What a goal! That is goal of the season!
I just felt there was little pointers, but we never give up. There was a lot of, I thought there was a lot of character shown. I know that's the old cliched phrase, can't put it any other way, but we did definitely show that, and really stuck to it. Scored some late goals, and we scored so many late goals so often that it wasn't a fluke anymore. You know, that's the players played to the end.
And so the league reached its final afternoon. Celtic had brought the title back within reach, but they still had to take it.
Obviously a huge amount of pressure leading into that last week, and the way the team handled it, the way they dealt with it, and managed to play their football through it.
Against Hearts, they fell behind. With the clock running down, the championship appeared to be slipping away once more.
Stabs it forward to Osman. Osman cuts it back. Maeda! Well, the offside flag is up. Dyson Maeda gets the goal, and Celtic leads by 2 goals to 1. Maeda's on the ground.
In the final minutes of the season, shaped by uncertainty, Celtic finally found certainty.
Celtic are the champions! Callum Osman to score! Yes! Celtic are the champions!
It's a fast score from the free kick. You lose the league basically. And I think everybody took a few seconds to realise there was no goalkeeper in, and you started dribbling towards the goal and you're like, just put it in. It was an unbelievable memory and amazing to be part of.
The ending was everything Celtic could have wanted. A 5th league title and a Scottish Cup secured the double for Celtic at Hampden Park. Now the challenge is to take that belief and resilience that was so strong for the team and carry it into the new campaign.
To win the double, it was really extraordinary. It is, and that's your word, so I'll stay with surreal. Great moments, never to be forgotten. Unfortunately, that is past and it's dropped into history now. And while you can reflect, and it's lovely to do that for a while, unfortunately, the season catches up with you very quickly.
Last season had its ending. Against Dundee, here in paradise, the flag will be unfurled, and the next story begins.
Yes, what an incredible season it was last year, and it could be an incredible start to the season if you win the Paradise Windfall jackpot tonight. It is a whopping £15,000. The ticket will cost you £2. You can get it via the Celtic Pools app. You've got to be at least 18 years of age to take part. Please visit begambleaware.org. Peter, just listening to Dalen telling that story and hearing from Martin and Callum, it really was a season like no other. But as Martin says, it's consigned to the history books now. But for the players who experienced that and are still here, what can they take from that? What can they learn from that and take into this new season?
Well, it tells you what it takes to be champions. You never give up here. You've always got to play at the final whistle, whatever it is. You've got to take the knockbacks. You've got to go up off the canvas at times, and they've done that tremendously well. Martin was an unbelievable signing for the club, and I think that got into the players. I don't think anybody else could have done it with these 6 games to go. I genuinely don't. The team wasn't playing it at its best, as we all know that, but they found a way to win games of football, and that's what you need at Celtic Football Club. When you're not playing as well as you can do, can you dig in? And there's a lot of these boys have had champions like Callum and James Forrest, whatever, but they've got the new boys that have just won it. You like Semedo and that had 5 titles since when he was here, so they were used to winning. But you never get rid of that feeling. It's an unbelievable feeling winning things. And these guys have got it now and they've got the hunger to go and do it again. But I keep saying to you, you're only champions for 6 weeks, and that's what it means playing for Celtic. You get the enjoyment for 6 weeks, and then you've got to go again.
And of course, the Hearts manager is now the Rangers manager. The Hearts captain and top scorer is now the Rangers captain. Does it make Hearts weaker? Does it make Rangers stronger? And does it make any of them strong enough to really contend with the champions?
Doesn't matter, they never won anything. You know, you've got to know how you talk about winning. They were in a very strong position for a long part of the season at Hearts and failed. And they can mump and moan as much as they want. All the crying that was done with everybody after it because Celtic won it. That's the disappointment. But that was enjoyment for Celtic, and that's why I think it goes down as one of the best title wins in history, probably, because of the way it was won, because everybody, apart from Celtic supporters and probably Hibs supporters, wanted Celtic to win, to lose the title. So thankfully they won it, and it couldn't have won it in a better way.
Let me ask you finally about the two new boys. If you've just joined us, Camilo Duran and Casper Hu both start tonight for Celtic. We've seen Camilo Duran. It was interesting watching Casper Hu. He was on with the Celtic team warming up there. The rest of the team ran off and he stayed behind and he stood at the edge of the pitch, and I watched him and he did some sort of visualisation exercises looking at both goals, back and forth, just looking at both goals, almost imagining scoring. It's a place of dreams, we know, as you know, as Billy McNeil used to say, this, you know, it's a fairy tale about this club. Is it all set up for being a perfect debut for Casper Hu tonight, do you think?
It doesn't matter where he's scored before. If he scores for Celtic Football Club, that'll be the best feeling he's ever had in his life. I remember George Cadetti's goal, and George said something similar. George came on as a sub and scored 5 minutes or something later, his first ever goal. And the noise that night was incredible. Casper will know what it feels like. He'll be visualising scoring in front of this fantastic support. And if he does that, he'll be a darling here. And that's all you do as a Celtic number 9. Put the ball in the back of the net, help them win trophies, and they'll remember you forever.
29 years ago today, Henrik Larsson made his Celtic debut. No, who's tonight? 29 years ago, Henrik Larsson made his debut. It wasn't here, of course, it was at Easter Road. It's probably a game that he would rather forget. And Celtic fans were going, why have we signed this player? They soon found out. But tonight, it's all about Camilo Duran and Casper Hu. And getting off the mark in a positive fashion for Celtic. It doesn't matter who scores. It's a team game. It's all for the cause and it's all for the 3 points.
Absolutely. You go and win the 3 points. That's the most important thing. If you can go top of the league, brilliant. Because you always want to be at the top of the league. People talk about being second and chasing. No way. Right from the start, you want to be the front runner. And there is no doubt in my mind that that's what Martin will be doing. And this is a home game. Get points on the bag early, most important thing. And if you can put goals to it, fantastic. And it'd be fantastic if both boys could score, because then they would know what it feels to be a Celtic player and a Celtic striker scoring goals at Celtic Football Club.
Well, before we go to your commentary team of Simon Donnelly and Jerry McDaid, let's hear from within the camp. Goalkeeper Voljami Sinisalo and Celtic manager Martin O'Neill are with John Ledwith.
The tradition of flying the flag is almost to invite everyone to come and get it from you. So do you realise now every team is going to come trying to shoot Celtic down?
Of course. I mean, that's been the case now since the turn of the century, as much as anything else. This is it. It's up to us to try and retain it. It's a long, long season ahead of us now at the moment. But really, got to look forward to it. Really.
What does it mean for you to start this season with that number 1 jersey?
Oh yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, it's what I've always wanted to do since I came to the football club, and but I understand you always got to do well. You're only as good as your last game, and that's the message that will never change, and that's the mentality you got to have. That's not just me. That's for any player that comes into the football club. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm buzzing. Like I said, like you said there previously, there's a lot of optimism and positivity that's shared within the squad. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting going.
Now, tonight will be a competitive debut for Camilo Duran and a first start for Casper Hu, both coming from successful teams with that winning mentality. Do you hope that helps them in their transition to Celtic?
Of course, yeah. I mean, they can play, and obviously if they can stay clear of serious injury, hopefully they'll have really decent careers ahead of them, particularly obviously at Celtic. So they both can do it. It's encouraging to know that they have played at a high level. They've played in the Champions League and they've done well in that, so that'll be important for them, at least to settle down.
Yes indeed, welcome to paradise. Here we are for yet another flag day. Martin O'Neill in charge for his first full campaign in something like 22 years. It's going to be exciting as we look ahead now to Celtic's lineup this evening that the boys have all talked about. They go with Sinisalo in goal, back 4 of Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Trusty and Tierney. It's Engels and McGregor in the middle with Yang, Nygren, Duran just in behind the new signing, Casper Hu. Dundee looking to bring in some new blood this season as well. They go with Goodman in goal, a back 4 of Wright, Owen Bevan, Ashley, Oduteo. Hamilton will anchor in front of them with Bevan, Finnegan, Wesley and Riley Payne in behind Simon Murray, the veteran captain. But right now, it's all about the flag. It's all about Celtic doing what they've done 56 times before. Captain Callum McGregor will be coming onto the pitch shortly, and he will be raising the flag for the 11th time that he has done so as a Celtic player. And beside me, of course, is a man who knows a great deal about that, Simon Donnelly. Simon, what an atmosphere, what a crowd.
Yes, another season set to start, and fantastic scenes here at Celtic Park again. Champions again. I just looked at the highlights of last season there on the monitor when we were listening to Jerry and Granty, and some of the games, last gasp efforts at Third Park, and none more so than the last game against Hearts. Here we witnessed a sensational season to win the 56th title, and if this season's half exciting as last year, we'll have a lot to look forward to.
And of course, nice to see the Dundee players forming the Guard of Honour as the party come out onto the pitch, waiting of course for the Celtic squad to arrive. As I say, a nice touch by the Dundee players. I suppose maybe you're required to do that, Simon, these days. But as we now look down and see Captain Callum McGregor clutching the title, the trophy for the 11th time, ready to come out onto the park to a tumultuous reception, no doubt. What a moment for the Celtic side, what a moment for Callum McGregor. As we said, you've seen it all before, Simon, but you never, ever tire of this kind of thing.
No, absolutely not, and especially at a club like Celtic. The demands, the season is over last year, and the fans look to this season, and the skipper's just the same. He's so experienced in this role now, so successful, but the hunger will still be there, and the want will be there, and we've got another couple of quality attacking players in through the door, so it's a strong looking starting 11 here.
Yes indeed, what a moment this is. Callum going early, of course, and there it is, it flutters, the fireworks go off, the explosions go off all around the ground, but the biggest explosion coming from the Celtic support as they rise to a man and a woman to applaud yet another title, and what a title it was. And this is what it all comes down to. But as you were saying, Simon, now we look ahead.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. You know, the demands at a club like this. Fantastic scenes on the last game of the season. But it's day one of a new season, 26-27, and we have to do it all over again.
We do indeed, but of course we're used to that as well. We're used to being serial winners at this club. Dundee head off down to the right-hand side as Simon and I are looking on down onto the park as the smoke clears away. We had a lot of that stuff going on during the World Cup, didn't we, Simon? It's quite good to actually be able to see the pitch.
Yeah, we certainly did. Certainly did. I'm glad now though we're back to the domestic issues at the start of the season. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, Jerry.
Match officials tonight are referee Matthew McDermott, assistant referees Chris Ray and Dougie Potter. The fourth official is Lloyd Wilson, and the VAR guys are Grant Irvin and Ryan Lee, and as we always say, we hope that's the last time we have to mention that. Superb aerial view of Celtic Park, and the supporters standing as one, chanting "You'll never walk alone." This is what it means to be Celtic, Simon.
Yeah, and the scenes of Walk On is absolutely amazing. Every time these fans sing it, and hopefully we'll see more success around the corner this season with a slightly new look team, certainly up top, familiar faces through the midfield and defence. It'll be interesting over the transfer window to see how this team develops.
Celtic's first opening game on a Monday night of a campaign since 1921. Can't imagine you were at that one, Simon, no?
Slightly before my time.
4-0 against Raith Rovers. We'd settle for 4-0 tonight, I would imagine. Monday night drama, as they say. Of course, I do remember the Monday night drama of 10 men winning the league back in '79. Simon, you will remember that one.
only because Murdo McLeod liked to remind me about it on any occasion speaking to him.
It will be the visitors to get us underway. Simon Murray over the ball. As we clear away, and you can see Casper, who